Hi, everybody. It's Kim from Expressions of the Universe, and I am here to talk about Jupiter in Sagittarius. What? Yes, finally. It has moved out of Scorpio, and it is in its home sign of Sagittarius as of November 8th. And he will remain there in his home sign until December 2nd of 2019. What does this mean for all of us? Well, Jupiter is known as the ruler of the universe, ruler of the skies. He shines the light down into places where there's darkness, where there's more light that is needed. When he's in his home sign of Sagittarius, he is bringing luck and limitless possibilities to everybody. And if you have Jupiter in Sagittarius, that is the luckiest of all the lucky signs. However, I don't fully trust Jupiter all the time. I'm a Jupiter in Gemini, and I've noticed when I go back through the dates in history that I've had suffered from some major losses when Jupiter is in my home sign of Gemini. Now, that will lead me to tell you that as benevolent as Jupiter is, bringing luck, possibilities, opportunities for everybody, shining the light down on dark places, maybe our dark souls, he is not without some chaos, thunder. Remember, he's also known as Zeus. He's also known as Thor, depending on what mythology you are looking at. So he does wield a thunderbolt, he does wield a hammer, and he has a huge shield, which can create darkness and chaos. Think back to the recent transit of Jupiter in Scorpio. A lot of people were not happy with that, but then there were a lot of people that were. He shone the light down in dark places, hidden places, especially, related to Scorpio, in sexual situations, the Me Too movement, the pedophiles in the church. He shone the light down in those areas and exposed them even more than they were before. I think that going back to my video from last year, I predicted that, but I don't think he really spent enough time exposing all the things that needed to be exposed. My assumption, which comes down to child trafficking, especially in the United States, but all around the world, we're going to have to wait another 12 years for that to come about. But I think that was definitely one of the Jupiter and Scorpio themes. Now, what else I do know about Jupiter is he is symbolized by an eagle. So he oversees the entire universe with this ginormous eagle. He overlooks everything. He can see the bigger picture. A lot of times we're so uber focused on our own specific lives that we don't see the bigger picture of everything or have a higher perspective. Jupiter helps us out by shining the light in those places. Also, too, he is known to carry two urns of life. There's one filled with ills. There's one filled with blessings. He gifts each and every one of us upon our birth. This is in mythology, a little bit of each, ills and blessings. Each person gets a certain amount of ills and a certain amount of blessings to carry them throughout their lives. And sometimes people will use up all of their blessings all at once, and all they're left with are the ills, or vice versa. They start out with a rough life, and then they wind up with a blessed life in the end. Some people, they have a complete harmonious balance of both ills and blessings. I don't think any life is ever without both ills and blessings. However, like I said, I don't fully trust Jupiter all of the time, because as much luck and as much blessings as he brings, he also brings an equal amount of ills to those blessings. And when I look back in time, the last Jupiter in Sagittarius was 2006 to 2007. Things were really good in my life. So I'm looking back through all the different Jupiter and Sagittarius transits. I do have them posted in the companion blog, which you can go and read about. I give you a little bit of information on who Jupiter is, the previous dates, so that we can look back and think about our lives during those transits. But I've always done very well financially when Jupiter is in Sagittarius, and then the following sign, Jupiter moves into Capricorn, and we usually have financial ruin in the world when Jupiter is in Capricorn. But he's exposing things in our financial systems that need to be exposed. So I'm trying to think, he's in his home sign of Sagittarius. He's very comfortable here. Sagittarius is the centaur. He is the archer. He has a bow and arrow. He's aiming very high. The possibilities are limitless when Jupiter is in Sagittarius. And we could think about travel and adventure and expansion and growth. But we have to remember that sometimes growth is also painful. It's like growing pains. When we're growing up from being a child to an adult, it's not always comfortable, and we have to work through things in order to get them right, in order to feel comfortable again with them. So I think that we will have a great amount of blessings during this transit, but there will also be some obstacles, especially when Jupiter goes retrograde in April through August of 2019. Now, this isn't necessarily going to be a bad thing. I just think that a lot of our opportunities, a lot of the possibilities could be slowing down at that time. And a lot of people could find things becoming difficult, a little bit tougher to achieve. The creativity may drop off because Sagittarius is such a creative fire sign. We will have to work a little bit harder for that happiness and joy and that creativity and that expansion. We will have to open our minds a little bit more. Now, there are a lot of lazy people out in the world where they just want all that luck pouring in towards them, and they don't want to have to do a whole lot. I think a lot of people out there are looking forward to this Jupiter and Sagittarius transit think that money's just going to rain down from the sky for them. And maybe for some people it will. Some people will have to work a little bit harder. We will have to open our minds. We will have to expand and see the bigger picture, see the bigger perception than what we're seeing now. Our horizons are limitless. Shoot your arrows, aim them high, higher than you have ever done before. Seriously, dream big during this transit. No dream is off the chart, out of limits. However, what I think about Sagittarius, they start out running. They're so fired up. They are, a fire sign. They are so full of gumption, and then they burn out. They fizzle out very, very quickly. They don't have that stamina to take them all the way to the limit. So maybe during this retrograde, it will all give us a little bit of a chance to rest, recuperate, rethink everything, and decide, okay, now where am I going to aim? Many times, though, Sagittarius is all over the place. The next shiny thing that catches their attention, they're off and running. They are little ponies. They are centaurs. So if something is shining and sparkling in the pasture, they're gone. And I expect a lot of Sagittarians and a lot of people with Jupiter in Sagittarius in their charts, they're gone. They're off to new wild adventures. However, Sagittarius energy, sometimes with that, how scattered that is, we're not focused. So we're kind of diluting the manifesting power of the transit because we're scattering ourselves all over the place. I know that some astrologers say that we shouldn't uber focus on one area of life for this transit. No, but don't scatter yourself out too far. I think if we focus on one thing at a time, the transit could work out really well for all of us. If you're looking to expand on creative ideas, creative possibilities, new opportunities, maybe becoming an entrepreneur, taking that leap of faith that you've been too frightened to do before, now is the time. From now until December 2nd of 2019. Now, I did pull animal totem cards for each month of this transit, and it'll just give us a little bit of a theme and a topic to focus on, things that we can work on. And I really do feel that these cards are resonating already with the current transit positioning. Now, we do have other transits going on. Mercury is currently retrograde. This Jupiter in Sagittarius, yes, it moved in about a week or so ago. However, nothing really has happened. I feel that the collective energy, everybody is anticipating and waiting for something wonderful to happen. We're all looking forward to more happiness, more joy, more hope, more faith. We want something better and greater for us than we currently have now. I think a lot of us are taking a look around at the world, and we're seeing what total crap it appears to be on social media, on the television, in the news, in the papers. I say, put that stuff away. Yes, I am on social media. You want to be discerning with what it is you are feeding your mind with, especially during this time. I say stay away from the news because they're only trying to feed us with dark, negative information, which is not always true because it's a means of controlling the general collective, the general population. However, we're all wanting something better for ourselves. More so than ever before. I mean, we do go through periods where we do always crave something better than what we have, but I think that that drive and that desire is even more apparent now than we have ever experienced before. So let's get into the cards. I know that there was something else I wanted to say, and it has eluded me for right now. Maybe it'll come back around to me. So for the month of November of 2018, I have snake spirit showing up. And this is a time to heal. This is perfect for the beginning of this transit. You can see the snake spirit. Think of the snake animal totem as the shedding of skin. Snakes shed their skin when they are getting ready to grow. It is not always comfortable for them until they get that skin all the way off. This is a time that we need to reassess during this Mercury retrograde transit. Think about what direction we want to aim our arrows in before we shoot them off into the universe. So I think that this snake animal totem is perfect. Snake spirit, the time to heal. We're going to heal everything over, I think, at least for the last 11 years. Look back since 2006, 2007. Take a look at that last transit. What were you hoping and wishing for back then that now we can continue in this transit? If you didn't get everything you wanted back then, I was just thinking, oh, yes, love. Definitely love. My relationship did not turn out the way that I was hoping it would. So maybe this time around, an even better and greater relationship. But I do have to shed that skin. We all have to shed that old skin and get rid of it before we can shoot those arrows and move on. Now for the month of December, we have Spider, Spirit Totem, And I probably can't see this without my glasses, and I can't. Isn't that horrible? Spider always reminds me about creating. What are we creating? What are we weaving? What is the life that we're weaving? That's what I think of with spider spirit, animal totem. I always think about how we are the creators of our own lives. I know a lot of people love to blame other people for the shit that's going on in their lives, but we create every single second moment of our lives, whether it's good or bad. That's the energy that we're putting out to the universe, and that's what's coming back to us. So this says, make your dreams real. So kind of what I was saying about creating the life that you want to have for yourself. You are the creator of your life. Coming in for January is grasshopper, animal totem. And this is saying take a leap of faith. I don't even have to look at that card because I know what grasshopper means. Grasshopper is coming to the edge and just jumping off, not literally, but taking a leap of faith in the direction that you want to go in. So if we have spent the last 2 months of the Mercury retrograde and these other transits that are occurring, contemplating and going over, taking stock of our lives, knowing where we've come from, knowing where we've been, maybe figuring out where we want to go to. Now it's time to take that leap of faith in January. And one little fun fact about the grasshopper is that they cannot jump backwards. They can only move forward. So think about that. We never want to go backwards. Be like the grasshopper. You never want to go back to an old lover. You don't ever want to go back to an old situation. If there is a person or a situation that's mirroring something old from the past, don't go there. Just take that leap of forward and keep moving forward, because the universe, God, spirit, your guides, the angels, our ancestors, they will always put something new and wonderful in your path to replace whatever it is that you're getting rid of. So take that leap of faith. Now I'm going to have to put my glasses on for this one. Oh, this is so cute. February, which is Groundhog's Day, is Groundhog Spirit. And look how cute he is. And this is saying time to let go. So you've got that grasshopper spirit. You're taking that leap of faith into the unknown. You're leaving the past behind. You may have leapt, but you're still maybe regretting a little bit with this Jupiter in Sagittarius. And now Groundhog Spirit is saying, all right, it's time to finally let go. We want to do that before Jupiter in Sagittarius moves into retrograde in April, because we'll be doing a little bit more contemplation during that time. Now, what's interesting, coming in for March, it is Lion Spirit, and my cat, who is my familiar, she always has to be right on top of the cards when I'm pulling them. She specifically pulled this card out, and I thought it was so funny because she's a cat, and she pulled out the Lion Spirit. And this says, be generous of spirit. And this is saying, be generous from the bottom of your heart. It does not have to be material things that you are giving. Give of yourself, give of your time. Especially now that we're coming into the holiday season, as I'm recording this, the holiday season all over the world. I was thinking earlier about gifts and gift giving, and you know what? I don't want material things. I'd rather have somebody's time. I would rather have somebody who is generous of their spirit and their time and experience with me over a material gift. So that's what you want to think about. We don't have to have a lot of money to be generous of our spirit. And that is for the March transit. Now, we're getting ready for April, which means Jupiter will be going retrograde until August. And this is Butterfly, animal totem, and this is transformation is beautiful. So yes, this could be challenging. We all know the butterfly that goes from being a caterpillar to the chrysalis into this gorgeous creature does go through some pains, does have, some difficult times. But then what comes out on the other end is absolutely gorgeous. So when Jupiter does go retrograde in April, it will be at 24 degrees of Sagittarius. And that is talking about our feelings and where we belong. It will retrograde all the way through August up to 14 degrees. So here we have 24 and then 14. That's talking about loving where you belong. So it's really all about belonging, finding our place, finding where we innovate, finding where we're creative, learning how to be a little bit more independent, growing a little bit of a thicker skin. And that is all part of this beginning of this transformation for all of us. Coming in May is the turkey spirit. And turkey is talking about gratitude and giving, I believe. If I'm not mistaken, give with gratitude and grace. And it's funny that I knew that, thinking about American Thanksgiving that is coming up. And it is about giving, and it is about gratitude. And like I said before, you don't have to have a lot of money or material things to be giving of your time and of your spirit and of your heart. Coming in June is Swan spirit. And Swan is saying time for a deep dive. So that's pretty interesting. And I haven't looked at the other transits leading up this far into 2019. But if we do have any retrograded planets other than this Jupiter in Sagittarius, that's always a great time for contemplation, for taking a deep soul dive and going within and figuring out where we're going to wind up going when we come out on the other side. And this is also another card that always symbolizes transformation to me. I think of the Ugly Duckling story from Hans Christian Andersen that my grandfather always used to read to me. And the little ugly duckling, and everybody used to make fun of him. And then he turned into this gorgeous swan. And then everybody was jealous and admiring him because they couldn't believe that this little ugly duckling was so beautiful. But that little ugly duckling always had that beauty on the inside. It was just waiting to emerge. Coming in July, it is the koi fish spirit. And, oh, that's interesting. So this reminds me of Pisces because there's two koi fish. Oh, it's one koi fish. See, I can't see anything without these glasses. It's horrible. And the koi fish is telling us that there's always enough. And maybe I should have learned this card before so I don't have to keep putting on my glasses. But, all right, so we're coming towards the end of the Jupiter in Sagittarius retrograde transit. We could be hungering, feeling a sense of lack at this point. And this card is here to remind us that there is always enough. Everything will always show up for us exactly the way it's supposed to, when it is supposed to. If you live a life with an attitude of gratitude, and you are always grateful for everything that shows up in your life, you'll be surprised that you will always have enough of everything that you need and want. So for August, we have Flamingo, another beautiful card, Flamingo Spirit. And Flamingo is saying, embrace the in-between. So August will bring us towards the end of the retrograde transit of Jupiter in Sagittarius. So we will be kind of straddling the line. We'll be in between worlds. We're getting ready to go into the autumnal months here in the northern hemisphere, or the winter, it would be the spring months. Yes, and spring months in the southern hemisphere. I had to think about that for a second. So we will be in between worlds. Things will be winding down. They'll be quieting down before they start afresh again. So this will be wrapping up that retrograde transit before Jupiter in Sagittarius fires back up and starts moving forward and direct. So coming in for September, it will be Turtle Spirit, and this is saying slow and steady wins the race. When Jupiter finally goes direct in the middle of August into September, he's not going to have a lot of speed. And I think a lot of us could be very impatient at this point. We want something to happen. We want it to happen now. We've maybe waited all year thinking that something wonderful was coming our way, and maybe it just didn't happen. And sometimes we have to wait. We have to be patient. Slow and steady wins the race. Now, I'm hearing from my guides right now is that, going back to what I said earlier, there are many of us that like to just sit back and allow things to happen, hoping money falls from the sky, hoping the job opportunities fall from the sky, that the right people show up in our lives, and not wanting to actually go out and do what is needed to be done in the world to bring those things to us. Jupiter in Sagittarius is not a time to be sitting at home waiting for things to happen. You need to get out into the world. You need to make a presence in the world. Whether it be on social media or actually walking out your door, I do recommend getting out of the house. Me, who's an introvert, I do spend a lot of time here because it's too people-y outside. But I'm actually going to force myself to try and get out of this house more often. But we need to socialize. We need to make things happen. You cannot allow those creative juices to flow, and you can't benefit from this Jupiter in Sagittarius if you're sitting in the house playing video games, watching TV, or if you're on a device. You have to get out. Get out in nature. You know, Sagittarius, that little centaur pony, he's running through the fields, loving nature, living life. And then what I have, the final card, even though Jupiter in Sagittarius will be in that transit until December 2nd, this is the October card, but this is what I'm going to end this with. And it is the Starfish Spirit. And I think this will carry us for the rest of the transit next year. And the Starfish Spirit says open to infinite possibility. And that's why I want to end on that. I didn't want to pick another card after I saw this. Jupiter will go direct in Sagittarius in mid-August. That September card, slow and steady. The turtle is going to get us up and running very slowly, and then the starfish will carry us through the rest of the transit, saying that there are infinite possibilities. However, you need to get out there. You need to act on those ideas, act on that creativity that is coming to you. If you do have an idea, make sure you keep a pad and paper or something with you. Write down your ideas, write down the synchronicities, so that you can possibly manifest them into your dreams, infinite possible dreams. If you do not act on these ideas that are going to be coming to us during this transit, they will be given to another person. I've seen this happen, not only with myself, but with a lot of my friends that come up with wonderful ideas. They'll tell me about an idea, and then they drag their feet and don't do anything. Next thing you know, I'm seeing on the news or reading in the paper or a magazine this wonderful idea that my friend had, you know, whether it be about a book or a movie or an invention. I'll see somebody else put it out. And it's because the universe may come up with something wonderful, a new movie, a new book, a new song, or a new wonderful invention, and they want somebody to create this. So the universe or whoever, I don't know, will give that idea out to a bunch of different people and all around the world. And they will know that they have a great idea. They may dream it. It may just pop into their head. There's infinite possibilities there, but it's usually only one person that will actually act on that idea and manifest it and make a fortune with it. So pay attention, because this is where your fortune could come in. Jupiter is definitely luck and fortune, but we do have to make the most of it. Sometimes we do have to work a little bit for it, and we do have to act. Remember, pull your bow back and shoot that arrow high into the sky. Dream big during this transit. Ride this wave. It's like we're horse riding on the edge of a blade into the universe. The possibilities are infinite. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you like this video, please share it with your friends so that they can see what the possibilities are during this Jupiter and Sagittarius transit. If you click down there, I'm not sure which side it's on, please subscribe to my channel. Comment me here. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you're feeling for this transit. Share with me your hopes and wishes, and give me some thumbs up. Until next time, I will see you, and happy Jupiter in Sagittarius. Be sure to check out the companion blog, and I'll put the link right here in the video so that you can check that out. Thank you,